Screenplay Diaries.
Diaries.
Greetings, all. I am trying something a little new tonight. As you can see, it is 3:21 in the morning, and I can't really sleep. Time has no more meaning. My name is Jake S. Weissman. I've been wanting to try this for a little while. The goal is to write a screenplay in real time and share it with you. I watch a lot of game commentaries, a lot of playthroughs, game grumps, and I thought that sounds like fun, but the only thing I know how to do is write scripts. And how exactly does one do that? How can someone do a playthrough of screenwriting? So this isn't a class. I don't know how to teach screenwriting, but I've written a lot of scripts. Been writing since I was 15. I wrote my first feature when I was 15 years old, and I write for fun. All of these screenplays are between 75 and 140 pages. They're of all different budgets, all different genres, and I've learned to come up with a voice that I'm pretty comfortable with. As you can see, I did a Columbo fan film. I did a Hellraiser fan film. This is the feature that I produced. This is the second feature I produced, and this is a sequel to my first film that I never did produce. These budgets range from $5,000 to hundreds of millions of dollars. And this stuff early on, Amen is from college, Ripcord is college, Scrapers is right out of college. So I've been doing this since I graduated 2009. I started really writing features on the regular around then. I really started doing it around 2011 is when I wrote Scrapers, because I had a writing partner, and I'm not crazy about having writing partners. It takes twice as long to write one thing. Got to pitch every single idea. It's really bothersome. So after that, I decided I'm going to write by myself, and I only have to answer to myself, and I'm going to try and learn how to write as quickly as I can while being comfortable. So maybe we can do this together. I will be using Microsoft Word. This is just to share ideas with you before we start going into the screenwriting program. I'm a big proponent of having a notebook. My goal in life is to pull that Quentin Tarantino thing and write an entire feature in a notebook. I think that sounds really cool, but I don't have that ability. Usually I use my vomit notes, write everything down as fast as I possibly can. And then sometimes I'll write dialogue because it goes a little quicker. I've come up with a shorthand and then transpose that to a final thing on the computer. I love notebooks. I think they're really important. Everyone should have them. I have a different notebook for every different project that I have, and I have a bookshelf full of notebooks from the last 10-15 years. A lot of used and unused material. And then the screenwriting program that I use is called Celtics. I think a lot of people use Celtics, and a lot of people use Final Draft. I think I would prefer to use Final Draft, but I don't have that kind of money. Celtics is free. They have it nowadays. It's online. It's like a Google Drive, so you share it on the cloud. I'm less of a fan of that. I found a downloadable version, this old version of Celtics 2.97 or 2.9.7. I wish I could find this again. There was a great website that had this for PC and for Mac, and it's my favorite. I've been using it since 2006, I want to say 2006. So yes, I should update, but there's something very comfortable about this, and I feel it's very uncomfortable not using it. Just, me repeating myself. The great thing about this is there is a scratch pad on Celtics, so I do use the scratch pad a lot. I will be using Word, like I said, to share some more ideas, but as we move along, I'll definitely be using the scratch pad. What movie will this be? I don't know. And, we'll learn how to use this later on as we go along, because I'm not super into teaching format and stuff like that. When I first started writing screenplays, I didn't have any program to use. I wrote the first 2 or 3 screenplays literally moving the margins in Microsoft Word, and it's really a pain in the butt. But it's kind of like learning how to edit on film. It's kind of like learning how to edit on film and cut physical film before you learn digital. Jake S. Weissman sits on his bed, typing on his computer. Jake. Whoa. This is meta. This is really weird. Who am I writing this for? For. He thinks. I guess I'm writing this for YouTube? He looks directly into the camera. So that's kind of that's what it's going to end up looking like. Stupid. And then there's a title page. My title by Jake S. Weissman. And it's you guys are going to see what a bad typer I really am, but I'm quick. And then you set it to PDF as long as everybody's on the internet, which we should be connected to. There it is. It creates a script for you, and you can save the PDF. So we'll learn how to use this together. We'll go through this, but I think we have to pick a story before we can actually start writing. So I've been thinking of some ideas, and I'd like to share them with you in this video, and then maybe you can write in the comments which story you're most excited to hear. I'm going to write down 5 or 6 story ideas that I've been thinking about, and let's try and pick one, and the one that we pick I will then write, and we'll write a 90-page script, or it'll be between 80 and 100 pages depending on the story that we end up writing. And I'll probably end up trying to write something a little familiar so I can not look like a total goofball in front of you guys. Writing is not always what you write down on a piece of paper or what you type. I find that most of the writing I do is in my head, and I think it's very important to remind everybody that's where a lot of the writing comes. Don't get frustrated if you're staring at a blank screen if you haven't really thought about the story that you feel like telling, or a theme that you feel like investigating, or characters that you feel like playing with. That's what the blank cursor is. That's what staring at a blank piece of paper is. So take walks if you can. I know it's hard to take walks right now. And just brainstorm, because if you're thinking about your story and the actual specifics of it, then you are writing. If you're sitting doing your circular thought thinking, I need to write, what am I going to write? What should I write? That's not really helpful. But if you're sitting there thinking, well, geez, I really love medieval stories, and no one's done kind of a Lancelot type story in a while, it would be really fun to do that. Well, I would love to do that, but I would love to have it set in Japan, because then I could have Japanese myth and lore and kind of use these Miyazaki references while still combining it with these medieval King Arthur, Lancelot, etc., etc. So you start with kind of the stuff that you want to play with, and what do you feel like doing. It's not about, it's about finishing it, but the other key to all this is make sure you're writing something you want to write, because you're going to be sitting here writing this for a while. So don't write something that's painful to write or super, super difficult. Decide to write an ultra true story that's based on very, very specific facts. Unless you already know those facts, don't worry about it. I would just think about a fictional story that you feel like telling, or movies that you like, or books that you like, that you if it's your first one, you just try and ape it a little bit, just trying to cut your teeth. So I've been thinking, I just finished a personal script called Vermonter about it's a romantic drama with some comedy elements, and very inspired by very, very specific movies like John Cassavetes' Love Streams, a lot of Humphrey Bogart movies, Treasure of the Sierra Madre and Casablanca. Five Easy Pieces was a very, very big influence on it. So that's what I start with and kind of work my way out. So first, I'll write these, and you guys, the auto format's just the worst. You guys tell me what you like and vote for it down on the bottom if you dare. So, first one I was thinking about doing was A Christmas Story commercial fair. It would be set in Chicago, and it's a family story. I like movies like Elf, something legitimately Christmassy. They also always sell. I've always wanted to write a real Christmas movie, because apparently every year studios are looking for more Christmas movies. Legitimate ones, not ones about Santa, and not cynical Christmas films. Although, as we know, like Bad Santa and stuff plays. This was going to be about an uncle and a niece, and the uncle tells the niece when she's really young that Santa's workshop is actually in a skyscraper in downtown Chicago. And the rest of the movie is a teenage niece and her older fun uncle running around Chicago, trailing the mystery of Santa's downtown workshop. The idea is that she's jaded now that she's a teen. Her parents can't be there. She hasn't talked to her uncle. They used to be close. Then he kind of dropped out for a little while. Then he comes back to take care of her while her parents are out for the Christmas season, and she's not really feeling it until they decide to go on this journey. And each location and each person brings them to a new place with a new answer, a noir type journey. I love those kinds of stories. I've always wanted to write a story like that, about like a floating mysterious jazz band that you have to just know people who knows people who knows people to get there, and it ends up being this beautiful journey around town. So that's one idea here. 2. All right, what's the second one? A Vermont set neo-western, non-linear, and violent. All right, so I'm kind of on a Vermont kick right now. I also just recently watched the movie Killing Them Softly over and over and over again. I absolutely love this movie. I don't know what it is. It's just a unique way to tell a story. Phenomenal performances, but also these very interesting set pieces that almost seem out of place, but they're just so fascinating and well shot. I really like the story. I really like Brad Pitt. I didn't understand why Ben Mendelsohn was in everything until I started watching Killing Him Softly a lot, because Ben Mendelsohn is disgusting and really, really wonderful. So the idea is to make a Killing Him Softly, a Hell or High Water, a No Country for Old Men type film, but set in Burlington, Vermont, with kind of scumbag characters. Make it real nonlinear, like Pulp Fiction nonlinear. Lots of cursing, lots of violence, money, and just have a really good time with it. I have a few ideas for it with some fun names. You know, bust out names from your hometown and stuff. And I think the idea is, if I do this feature, is I'll take note cards and write down the scenes on the note cards and write the whole thing in chronological order in linear fashion, and then shuffle everything around to be a really fun non-linear story. So that's the plan with that one, if we vote for number 2. Whatever. Number 3. Something like barbed wire. Why am I so into barbed wire right now, aside from the obvious? I really don't know. There's something about these kind of trashy movies that I love falling asleep to. I haven't watched it all the way through. I keep falling asleep. It's Casablanca, but with like leather and clubs, and not like, you know, like like a music club, like a dancing club, and a strange perspective on feminism. It's like kind of falsely badass. It's pre-Matrix. It's a very strange movie, but there's something about it that I'm like, you know, it'd be fun to kind of update this to make it not so cringy and just kind of a fun badass leather chick movie. That's the one that I've thought about the least, aside from this next idea that I have. But it's there, you know. You let me know. I'm not sold on that one. I just recently watched The Nice Guys again, so a Shane Black style noir with female leads. Like Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Something really funny, something that plays with cliche and trope. Shane Black is so funny because he takes so many moves where it's like, hey, hand me that gun, and then they chuck it out the window, or just characters do such bizarre things, and coincidence plays such a fun part. And the movies are always light, but always have some sort of interesting theme, and I love noir style. If you've seen Clean Sheets, you know I love noir style, so I really would love to do something like this. That's all I have right now is a Shane Black style noir with female leads, so instead of Robert Downey Jr. and Val Kilmer, it's I don't know who, but it would be the same kind of attitude and the same sense of humor. So that would be more of a comedy. That's all I have in my notebook. I've been getting really into lost silent films, and I don't have this is one where I only have a story. I don't really know how it would look necessarily, but I have this idea about a young woman who finds a chest in her attic, and it's full of lost silent films, and she finds out that her grandmother was among the great original silent film directors like D.W. Griffith and Thomas Ince, I think is his name, William S. Hart, Max Sennett, all these guys. She was with them, but was totally buried in history, and no one knows that a woman had such a huge part in that. So I would love to write that. The thing about writing a movie like that is doing the immense amount of research. I watched movies and I've read some stuff, but I don't know enough to make that the most believable kind of story. So that's something I would really like to do. It's something I've been playing with for a while, but it wasn't until I started really watching like Sunset Boulevard and learning about lost films of the silent era that this idea kind of popped. It's very interesting to me. So, lost films of the silent era. Young woman finds I feel like there was one more, but let's keep it at this right now. If I come up with more, we'll see. I am gonna try and do this. I'm not sold this works. I like this idea though, so please join me. We're gonna try it together for one script, and if it goes well, I'll do some more, hopefully on like a Patreon type thing. But until then, let's do this together, and let me know which one you're interested in seeing me write, or one that you would like to see written. If you have an idea, throw it down there. Like, comment, subscribe. Like all the comments, I will take everything into consideration. I will take any good joke, We'll talk about character names. We'll talk about influence, why things are beat out the way that they are. I will do my best to be as clear as we can, but also for me to reflect my style of writing the best that I can, because I really want to. It would really be fun to finish this in real time with you guys. So, thank you for watching, and this is a big ol' experiment that we will see if it works. All right. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time on Screenplay Diaries.